We created this really fun tennis scene using one light. But first, let me talk you through the setup. So we have a really simple setup. However, this is very striking and really suits the product and the branding of the actual cans that we're using. So we have a 3 background setup. We have one Propsyland background that is on the floor. This is literally the hero of the photo. It really ties in the theme of the scene. And then we have 2 different beiges that are sticky taped and blue tacked to the wall. So this one is just blue tack, and then on the left hand side we have one that is sticky taped to a piece of MDF board to give it stability to stand up straight, and that creates the 3-corner wall look, which is really fun. After that, we've just placed our cans in scene and we have given them a little spray with some glycerin and water. So we actually took these out of scene to spray them first. That's a little tip for you. Don't spray it in scene, otherwise you're going to have water everywhere. And then we've just balanced it out with some tennis balls, and we tied in the color of the pink as well. So normally tennis balls are yellow, but we thought the pink would work really well just to tie in all of these creamy colors. After that, we have a tennis racket. This one was just spray painted with some white paint to tie in the tennis theme. We thought the tennis racket was a really good element to add in there. Next up, let's go to our camera. Alright, so for our camera, we are using an EOS R Mark II, and we have the 100mm lens. This one is one of our favorites here at the studio. Just love it. It's very crisp, captures a lot of detail. We also have our camera on a tripod, and we also have this pointed downwards. So we've got it off to the side and we are pointing down at those products. We are also tethering today because we absolutely love to tether and see what we're doing. Now for the fun part, the lighting. So I feel like the lighting really brings in all these elements and really communicates the style of photo that we're trying to capture here. And what we are trying to capture is a really sunny day. You could be out with your friends playing tennis, and naturally you would think, oh, the sun's in the sky, things are going to be a lot harsher. So we have a 1 strobe setup. It has a bare bulb to keep things super crisp, and we have it relatively far away from the scene, so we have some longer shadows falling into scene. Now where the placement of this is up quite high, so that light is going to spread across the entire scene. So let's take a shot and see what it looks like. Now I will put the camera settings in the caption below, but for your reference, our shutter speed is sitting at 1/125. Our f-stop is f16 to keep things really crisp, and we have an ISO of 100 because we are using the strobe as our only light source. We don't want any of this ambient lighting. We want the lighting to come from the strobe. Now I just want to show you one more thing of what it would look like if I move my strobe around. Some people forget that you can move them around. It doesn't need to be in the exact spot the whole time. You can create different effects depending on the placement of the strobe. So let's take a few different variations. All right, so shot 1, you can see that the shadows are falling behind the product. Now, if I move my light over this side, it's still up high enough to light the entire scene, but you'll see that the shadows will fall in a different direction. And as you can see, still a similar shot, but different lighting direction can change the feel of the photo. Now, whilst I do want to keep this scene relatively simple, you could add in some different props as well. So here we've got a pink towel that just ties in the colors again. One thing you should keep in mind with scenes like this is to be purposeful with the choice of colors that you are using. So I wouldn't just casually go in and add maybe like a blue or a green towel. I've chosen a pink one because it's going to tie in all of those other prop colors, and it's just going to make the photo feel balanced. Now, whilst we have used one light in this setup, you definitely could use a second light, and you could use that as your fill light. I really love doing this because it really lifts light into those darker shadows. For this shot and the placement of my light, I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but if you really wanted to go that extra step, definitely put it in there. You could use either a softbox or a piece of diffused paper to keep it really soft and just lift some light into the darker areas or the shadows. Now, there is one thing that I want to point out. It's that I already know that I'm going to have to do a little bit of post-production to fix up these join lines between the base and the backgrounds that are on the MDF board and the wall. The reason being is that we've used blue tack on the wall and it's made it a little bit wonky. If we spend a little bit more time on it, we obviously could fix it. However, I know that it's an easy fix in post, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, if you are shooting with a product that has a little bit of glare, don't be afraid to change the placement of it or even maneuver your lights around a little bit. One thing that I always harp on about is that your lights aren't stuck in the mud, and neither are your products. Even if you try moving them back and forward, you can eliminate the glare very easily. It honestly sometimes is just a simple twist or turn and you'll find that it's fixed. But that is our one light setup for today, and I hope you enjoyed our little tennis scene. I don't know, why have I used 100mm? I'm not gonna lose my job. Not gonna lose it. But that is all I have to say.